So this is gonna be fun. Let's do it like the old 90s cartoons. Extreme close-up of Thor's face as he flies through space. Thor. I am Thor, son of Odin, god of thunder. Also, god of sass, apparently. Thor. Totally called it. Mjölnir, my magical hammer. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. So now that I have my hammer back, I'm gonna go destroy some stuff. Why not? Start with the Grandmaster. You heard me right. We're doing it like the old 90s cartoons. This means we get to see Thor fight the Grandmaster, something I never thought I'd see in my life. Now if you're wondering why I'm making this video, it's because I've been asked this question about 1,000 times. Can I please do a video of Thor but in the style of the 90s Spider-Man or X-Men cartoons? And since I love those cartoons so much and I also love Thor, well, here we are. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can one man possibly capture the essence of both Thor and 90s cartoons at the same time? Well, for starters, the answer is quite simple. It's me. But the real answer is that it is actually pretty easy to capture the essence of 90s cartoons when your art style consists of just shapes and primary colors. Just kidding. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be, especially since I wanted to stay true to both Thor and 90s cartoons, which meant I had to take my time and really plan this out. But after many months of work, I think I've finally done it. The result? Well, let's just say that if this video gets 1,000 likes, I will consider doing another video in this style. But enough chit-chat. Let's get started. Okay, so this scene opens on a shot of the Grandmaster's ship entering Asgard. Now, if you're a huge Thor fan, you probably already know that the Grandmaster doesn't really have a ship. He just sort of appears wherever he wants, whenever he wants. But hey, I'm going for a 90s cartoon here. That means spaceships and lasers and stuff. Also, I give him a pet lizard. Don't ask. It seemed fitting. Okay. Now the scene changes to Thor, who is hanging out with some Warriors 3, and they all having a lovely time. Until suddenly Sif comes running over all scared and stuff, and she tells them that the Grandmaster has arrived. Now, if you don't know who the Grandmaster is, let me catch you up. Basically, the Grandmaster's like the most powerful being in the universe. I mean, he literally owns the Collector's Infinity Stone. And to make things even worse, he's actually really, really smart. I mean, he outsmarted Thanos. That's how smart he is. Anyway. He's come to Asgard to steal Odin's power or something. I honestly forgot why. But whatever. The point is that Thor's gotta stop him. Now, before Thor does anything though, he takes a moment to pose heroically and say some really cheesy lines while flexing his muscles. Thor. I am Thor, son of Odin, god of thunder, also god of sass, apparently. Thor. Totally called it. Mjölnir, my magical hammer. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, so now that I have my hammer back, I'm gonna go destroy some stuff. Why not? Start with the Grandmaster. You heard me right. We're doing it like the old 90s cartoons. Extreme close-up of Thor's face as he flies through space. Thor. Bring it on, Grandmaster. I've been looking forward to pummeling you for 9 whole issues. The first thing I want to talk about today is the process of designing Thor in a 90s cartoon style. Now, if you've ever watched an old 90s cartoon, you'll know that the character designs were very simple. In fact, most of the time you could probably draw the characters in less than a minute. This is because the animators were trying to save time by simplifying the designs as much as possible. This meant that most characters looked like they were made out of basic shapes. And since Thor has a very distinct look, it wasn't too hard to adapt his design to this new style. For example, his helmet looks a lot like a trapezoid, while his chest piece looks like a stylized version of his actual armor. This allowed me to simplify the design without losing the essence of Thor. I also decided to keep his red cape, although it looks more like a flame here than an actual cape. But hey, I thought it looked cool. Finally, I gave him some 90s-inspired boots, which I think really sell the look. As for the Grandmaster, well, I wanted him to look like a classic cartoon villain. I mean, we're talking 90s here. The era of purple and green everything. So I went to a purple suit and a green cape. I also gave him a pet lizard, mostly because I thought it would be funny. Okay, now let's talk about the background. As you can see, I'm not really good at drawing backgrounds, and if you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know that I usually just use photo references for them. However, since I wanted this video to look as authentic as possible, I decided to try and draw the backgrounds myself. I started out by doing some research and looking at some old episodes of the X-Men and Spider-Man cartoons. What I noticed right away was that the backgrounds were always very simple and often consisted of just basic shapes and gradients. This made sense because the animators were again trying to save time, so I knew that I had to keep the background simple. I started out by drawing the basic shapes of the different elements in the background. For example, the mountains in the distance and the trees in the foreground. Then I added some gradients to give the background some depth. Finally, I added some stars and other space elements to give the background some atmosphere. I know it's not much, but hey, I tried. Now, let's talk about the action. If you've ever watched a 90s cartoon, then you know that the action was always over the top and very exaggerated. This was done for comedic effect, but it also made the fights look more epic and exciting, so I knew that I had to exaggerate the action in this video as well. I did this by using a technique called frame extension. This is when you extend a single frame for a few seconds. This creates a slow motion effect, and it also gives you time to show off the details of the action. I used this technique a lot in this video, especially during the fight scenes. Now let's talk about the dialogue. If you've ever watched a 90s cartoon, then you know that the dialogue was always cheesy and sometimes even cringeworthy. But hey, that's part of the charm, so I tried to capture that in this video as well. I kept the dialogue simple and to the point, and I also made sure to include some classic cartoon sound effects like BAM, POW, and Z. I also included some classic Marvel Comics sound effects like Shazam and Kapow. I mean, come on, it wouldn't be a Thor video without them. Now let's talk about the color palette. As you can see, I went with a very limited color palette for this video. This is because the old 90s cartoons used a very limited color palette to save on printing costs. This meant that I could only use a few colors for each character in each background. However, I think this actually worked in my favor, because it forced me to be more creative with my color choices. For example, I used a very saturated purple for the Grandmaster to show that he was a villain, and I used a very desaturated green for the background to show that it was a forest. So there you have it. My take on a 90s style Thor video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it brought back some good memories of watching old 90s cartoons. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to hit that like button and let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if this video gets 1,000 likes, then I'll consider doing another video in this style. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.